Good afternoon. It is Friday again. This is December the 17th. And this screen just went strange. Okay, there we go. December the 17th, Friday. I am here. I have said today I'm going to do numerology. I have these awesome cards with awesome little grids on that we probably don't need all of, but it helps me focus. So what can I say? I'm going into, hello Cookie, wow, there you are. Tell me your day and your month and I will calculate your 2022 number. You're here early today, it's lovely, so good. Hey Carol, write down your day and month of your birthday in the comments and I'm going to figure out your number. Okay, 20th November. Oh, that's, have I done numbers with you, Cookie? Because that's a really cool number to have. So you're 2 and 2 and next year is a 6. So 6. You're going into a 1 year. Gosh, what a lot of people. I'm going into a 1 year. Have we had this discussion before? A lot of my friends are on the same cycle as I am, so lots of new beginnings in 2020. Cookie, 2020, yeah, 2022. We have this month and the rest of this year, and probably for the last couple of months, there have been a lot of things coming to a conclusion. Either we're deciding I'm not doing that anymore and drawing a line under it, or we're getting something finished that we've been working on for a while, or something like that. And next year, that's in and of itself, that is going to leave room and time in our day to take on new stuff. And there's just going to be new opportunities and new ideas and new things that come towards us. 2022 is a fascinating year. All those twos, which are always about relationships, all kinds of relationships in all aspects of our life, and they're adding up to a 6, which is community. It's about meeting with our responsibilities and serving the community, serving the people around us, serving our own life path, causing progress to happen in whatever day, in whatever way that comes. So it's really kind of exciting. Going into a 1 year, the whole year you're going to have that beginning, that central originating energy with you, and then in January, for just the month of January, we add the 1 for January, so you've got a 2-month coming in January, as do I. So again, relationships, lots of stuff with relationships. Hello, Carol in the UK. You, if you write your day and month of your birthday in the comments, I'm going to figure out your numbers for the next year. Okay, Carol in Florida, you're going into a 4. So this is a year of, I talk about the 4 energy being solid and stable and practical. So it's a year with I didn't know you were a cipher baby, Carol in York. Oh, that's so cool. If I did know, I forgot. Okay, Carol in Florida. You're going into a time of being practical, getting things sorted, getting things ready, maybe signing contracts, doing the part of growth that is sometimes, certainly I find it deadly dull and boring because I've got an entire chart with no 4s in it. So, I learn to do 4 stuff, but it doesn't come naturally. 4 is that foundational energy upon which you will build going forward. But for during the year, there's going to be a lot of just being sensible and preparing things and getting stuff coordinated so that you can move move forward. I have got a deck of cards here too, but I want to do. I love April 4th. It's such a good date. So we have 8 plus 6 is 14. So Carol UK, you're going into a 5, and that makes sense. 5 is a year of expansion and growth and change and progress. Everything. Conrad, hello. I don't recognize your name. Welcome. Um, 5 is it can be restless, but it also it's that time of movement forward, and I know that you're anticipating that already. There's movement, there's change, there's expansion, and if it doesn't happen, then absolutely you get restless, and that needs to be addressed. Okay, Conrad, I've got a 2 and a 3 and a 6. So you're going into a 2 personal year, which is okay, Carol, Florida, you know. It'll feel easier next year because that's the vibration that's going to be very much with you. So that makes sense. Conrad, this is a 2 personal year. So the year has 3 2s in its name. You're going to be very much involved with other people, and whether that's in terms of romance or in terms of work colleagues, in terms of the community where you live, getting involved with different people. But it's very much a year where you're going to be in company. This is not the year for you to go on a retreat in the Himalayas in a cave, because your energy is all about being with other people, being in that vibration of exchange that a 2 brings. So it's collaboration and cooperation and connecting with other people. And during the year, that's going to be primary for you. In January, you're going to have a month of 3, which is a time of inspiration. This is when the cosmos channels new things into the physical world through you. You become the portal for new stuff. So getting out of your own way and listening and being with your central energy, and whether that's while you're in spinning class, or you're hugging trees, or you're meditating, or you're praying, or whatever it is that gives you a chance to hear the voice within, then January, there's going to be a lot of good stuff for you right there. Okay, did anybody else come in? No. All right, so I brought a deck over because I know when I advertise numerology, not everybody shows up, and that's okay because I just like doing numerology. I've got Sonia Choquette's deck here. So if you have given me your birth date, I'm going to take that as a consent to draw. Is Cookie still here? Maybe I'll work my way backwards. You're welcome. Okay, I'm going to start with Conrad and then work my way backwards. So I hope the Carols don't mind that. And if Cookie's still here, let me know, Cookie, please. Conrad. I'm not going to read a big whole lot of reading. Oh, this is nice. Okay, Conrad, you're in a 2 personal year. It's giving you appreciation and telling you that you have guides. So connecting with gratitude, appreciating what's there. You have divine helpers. It's showing starlight and flower blossoms, that lovely image of beauty, which is one of the aspects of the 6, which is the whole year next year. The 222 adds up to 6. So being in a state of appreciation, remembering that every day is a miracle. And that's going to really inform how the days go for you. Okay, I'm going to read for Carol UK. I'm thinking Cookie must have left. Okay. Carol UK, I have for you. Oh, this works. This really, really works. This is community, which I know you're involved with and building, supported by your spiritual ancestors. So that's all about your work and your writing and your research and what you do, right? That's so cool. That's perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay. All right, Carol, Florida. And Cookie has not spoken up. She's not here, I guess. I don't know. All right, Carol, Florida. Okay, what was your number? You're a no, Carol, Florida. A 4. Oh, this is interesting. Okay, so this is, it's saying you will be supported in your imagination, and your inner child will support you. Okay, Cookie, if you're still there, I will read for you. That's cool. Or pull a card for you. Carol, Florida, a 4-year with imagination. So as you're laying the foundations, that with that 4 is supporting you being practical, you are you have the chance, because you're building a new base, you have the chance to imagine where you want it to go. You're not already committed to a particular path. You get to lay the foundation that you want. And that means that you can imagine where you want to be in a year, in 2 years, in 10 years. So that's rather a lovely kind of thing. Okay, I'm going to pull a card for Cookie, and then Regina, I see you there. And this is good. That makes sense for you, Carol? Good, good, good. Carol, Florida, I just saw your comment. And yes, Carol, UK. Totally, totally makes sense, I think. Okay, this is for Cookie. So for Cookie, what was Cookie's number? Oh, you're going into a 1. And it's giving, oh, this is nice. Supported by nature spirits, finding partnerships and love. So I don't know if that's about partnering with your garden, that the nature spirits are going to help you like grow pumpkins or something, or if that is about being with business partners, with finding things that you love, working in the outdoors, which a lot of people are doing. They're shifting practice into outdoor meetings and things. I don't know if that's something that's happening for you. But in a 1 year, you can start in any direction you want. So that is an energy that's showing around for you. That's neat. I like that. That makes sense to me. All right. Regina, we're going, whoops. We're going 12, 10. Next year is a 6. That's a 3 and a 1. And a 6, which is a 10, which is a 1. Okay, so Regina, you are another of us. Cookie's going into a 1. I'm going into a 1. Cookie's cousin is going into a 1. One of my work colleagues is going into a 1. So you don't need to see that. 1 is the beginning of the cycle. So this month and through the end of the year, you've got stuff that you're finishing off. And I was saying earlier that can be That can be because you finished things, sent the manuscript off to the publisher, or whatever is now complete for you. You can you have that space to open up for new things in the new year, and there's a chance for opportunities that hadn't occurred to you before, which is really, really nice. It means that there are other completions too. Sometimes like that, it's an accomplishment completion. It can also be a decision completion, right? The woman who lives in the house with the green door keeps letting her dog do things on my front porch. I'm cutting her out. She isn't my friend. I'm going to put up a fence, and I'm drawing a line right there. And this is the time to be doing that, to get to those endings that either you're choosing or they're happening, or you choose to make them happen, right? That's really nice. And what that does is it gives you a whole new freedom. Come January, in the beginning of the cycle for 9 years now, you get to go in a direction of your own choosing. You get to check behind all the boxes that you didn't necessarily look behind before, because there's stuff new now available, and we're in such a state of shift in society, and we're changing how we work, we're changing how we socialize, we're changing a whole lot of stuff. So there's going to be new things coming for you, coming at you in January and going forward all through the year. There's going to be a lot of new opportunities. So being with that is it's just a really happy thing, right? To know that there's new stuff coming. You're not stuck, and you're not in a rut, and you're not required to stay where you are. Yeah, it is brilliant. I'm glad you see it like that. Absolutely. Eileen, I probably should know your date of birth, but I'm asking people for their day and month. Regina, I'm drawing a card for you from the Sonia Choquette deck. We're gonna do, this is the deck is called Ask Your Guides. Oh, nice. Yeah, Ask Your Guides. So it's all the very many different guides. There's a whole day that we could use to talk about guides and angels and ancestors and all of those things. They do not interfere in our lives unless we request. When we say, please, will you help me with this situation, or whatever it is, then they will come in. So Regina, what you have, your joy guides are bringing you gifts. How good is that? So in a 1 year, knowing that you're opening up to a whole new cycle and a whole lot of new stuff, it's going to be really happy stuff. That is delightful. I like that. Very, very nice. Okay, I see Eileen came in. I really should know when your birthday is, but I don't, so there. Eileen is going into an 8. There's going to be some flow. Oops. Yes, an 8 year for 2022. So fairness and balance and symmetry, and that lovely, the in-breath, the out-breath. I love the lemniscate. When we lie down an 8, it comes to represent everything. It is infinity. It is all of eternity. It is all of everything. So you're also, because it's a 9-year cycle, you're beginning to be where you can see the end of it. The end of 23, you're going to be getting ready to go into a new cycle in 24. So 8 is the year for you to really connect with the flow of how your life is going, and begin timing things out so that you can get them completed by the end of the following year. Because not every project gets done on a Tuesday afternoon, right? Sometimes we need a year or more to figure things out. I don't know what you have that is long term. But during the 8, it will flow that much easier as you make the decision that this is what I want to do. This is what I want to complete with the rest of my cycle. And there will be energy to support that and to help you move towards the logical conclusion of it. So that is really cool. I like that. I don't know anybody who's in an 8. Isn't it funny? I've got a whack of people going into 1s, and I can't name. Maybe they'll show up today. All right, so for Eileen, the guides that will be with you in your 8 year, I've got, oh, this is so nice. I'm not sure entirely what it represents, the Divine Mother and unconditional love, which is just delightful. Have you got extra nieces and nephews being born soon? Or maybe this is just about your relationship with some of the ones that you already have. Or maybe it's something else and I'm just not cluing in. But that's a lovely energy. And in 8, it's that flow, right? Unconditional love is the source of all things in the cosmos. It flows through us into the world. So for you to be in alignment and allow that flow to feel unconditional love, which I hope you do, that you know that you are loved from all of those places for being, just being, and also for you to feel that love flowing through to your little people, to your not so little people. I know you've got a big family, and I know that you're all very loving, and that's so nice. I like it. Okay, Gina, Lori, I see you. Gina was here ahead of you. I'm gonna take hers. Gina, whoops, lost the 5th of December. So happy birthday to you. Somebody else was a December that I saw the date and thought you just had a birthday, and I didn't greet you, and I apologize. So this is Gina. You're going into a 5 year. 5 is growth and expansion. It is a time of adjusting and adapting to new situations. Oh, that's lovely, Eileen. I love that you got to visit and be in love with new souls. That's so cool. So for this year has maybe felt a little bit heavy. There was a lot of stuff to do. There was a lot of practicality to tend to. There was a lot of possibly sort of meeting duties because you had to. And hopefully you did, and hopefully now you can move on, because what has been set down during the 4 year, which you've been in for this year, is the foundation on which you will build. So if there are still contracts that need to be signed, if there are still agreements to make, foundations to be poured, as much as you can, get that finished before the end of this month. And then as your energy shifts into expansion and building the edifice on that foundation, right? That's how it's going to be for the next year, that you get to not worry so much about the practicalities, because they're all in place. They're not going to come back and bite you. You've done your work, and you can move forward with something that's much more creative, and it might involve travel. It certainly will involve shifting how you think, and sometimes that's about, I stood at the foot of the statue in Vatican Square and everything changed for me. Or it can be about, I read this amazing book and everything changed for me. So it's not necessarily about your physical placement in the planet or on the planet, but it is about being ready to adapt and change and grow and progress along your own path. So that's lovely. I like that. And Gina, this is going to be a card for you. And then Lori, I'm coming for you. I promise. Okay. So, Gina. Oh, interesting. Okay, I'm not sure how that goes with a 5. Oh, wow. Hey, Janet. And hey, Brandy. And hey, Debbie. Wow, everybody's here. Okay, so your spirit teachers are the guides that are around you, and they're notifying you that there will be boredom. And that 5, when we don't indulge our 5, it gets restless. So I guess this is just a reminder that a 5 year, you do need to have plans and be active to feed that growth. Because if you try to sit still and you're not feeding the 5, you will feel bored. You will, yeah, and you will get restless, and you will start doing foolish things. These are the times when we start poking our friends just to see a reaction, to see something different, right? We can start fights. A bored person in a 5 year can start a fight in an empty room. So I guess you needed to know that this is the case. The picture, it's very interesting. There are 2 adults and a child, and one of the adults is passing a heart to the child. And there's very much an ethereal presence around them, the spiritual teachers. So in terms of passing love along and connecting with love, and maybe connecting with young people, I'm not sure. But that is, it's the color for the 3rd eye. So I'm thinking maybe you need to be doing some meditation, possibly. I don't know. All right, Lori. You, if anybody, the new people who've come in, if you haven't yet, please give me your day and month of your birthday, and I'm going to calculate out your numbers for 2022. So 2 sevens are 5 for Lori. You've been sitting here listening to me talk to Gina. That's all true for you too. Traveling, shifting how you're thinking, moving, adapting to the new way of being on all the different ways that we're adapting, adjusting your own life to fit the new reality. All of it creating progress in your own life and moving towards your own destiny, and also in your community, making things better than they were last year and the year before, and just living into that 5. I'm gonna draw you a card. Okay. All these moving parts. All right, this is for Lori. This is going with a 5 year, which is change and growth, expansion, progress. And you are getting, oh wow, okay, your warrior guides are with you and inviting you to indulge in some bravado. I'm not sure what's going on with you personally. 5 and bravado. I think perhaps some fake it till you make it energy. That I know you have a business, and I know it's undergone some changes lately. So maybe this is about, putting on that businesswoman face, even in the weeks when you're not making any sales, and getting out there and being a warrior for your product, which I know is awesome. And 5, there's going to be expansion, there's going to be growth. So you're supported in that fight for progress. Spirit is with you. You've got warrior guides. When you get up in the morning and think, this is not all that I want it to be, that's all right. wrap yourself up in the knowledge that you've got guides who are with you and going to fight by your side, and that is very cool. All right, Brandy Lynn, I'm not familiar with your name. Welcome if this is your first time. I think maybe you are connected with someone whose name I would know. All right, so August the 11th. My felt tip pen wants to dry out, so that's 2. This is 2 8 7. Okay, so Brandy, you've got an awesome year coming up. This is number 7, is called the teacher. It is a year when you're going to learn stuff and you're going to teach stuff. And sometimes that's just by being an example. As you move through the world, as you move through the situations that you're learning from, and maybe you're going to take piano lessons, right? And maybe you're going to be really bored with the scales, but you've got to learn them because you've got to limber up the fingers and you've got to know your way around the keyboard. And as you are learning that, other people are going to be seeing that and going, you know, look at Brandy. That's showing me that I too could learn keyboarding skills, and they're going to learn from you and from your attitude and from your dedication. If you make a decision, this isn't for me, and in the name of self-care, I'm never touching a piano again, then they will learn from that too. So it's not about getting locked into something, but it is about being aware that you're teaching as you're learning as you're teaching. And this year is going to bring, this new year is going to bring you things from which you will learn. Sometimes, and I have no idea how old you are, I talk about 7 energy sometimes being like a high school breakup. Sometimes, yeah, high school breakup, it can feel devastating, right? You're in high school, you're just a young teenager, and all sorts of stuff going on in your body and your mind. And the breakup is the worst, the worst, the worst, the worst. It feels horrible. It feels awful. It feels absolutely devastating. And then when you're 30 and you look back at your high school experience, you go, well, I'm glad that happened because that wasn't meant to be. So sometimes in a 7 energy, you have that feeling that this is awful. This is the worst. This is the most challenging thing I've ever met. And at the same time, you can with awareness recognize that it is teaching you something that you will look back and be grateful for. Does that make sense? You will look back and, you know, the high school, imagine if I had stayed with that person, I never would have gone to this chosen college. I never would have met with that particular teacher. I never would have found my field of endeavor. I wouldn't have succeeded the way that I have, and how I have is good. So there may be challenges that come up in 2022. I'm assuming you're not a high school student. So you have way more life skills than that. You have the self-awareness to be able to look at it and see that there is a lesson in it and that you can take that. And with that awareness, you take so much of the sting out of it, because it is just not, I'm sorry, I've got a bunch of comments here that I haven't seen. So yeah, so you're going to be cool. That was about the number. I'm going to draw a card for Brandy. Hello, other people who came in. All right, so for Brandy, oh, interesting. Okay, this this goes well with a 7. This is about your higher self being with you, and I don't know whether you have done the personal work that you can identify your higher self, or that you've got a name or an identity that you relate to your higher self or your deeper self or your greater self, or however you label it. But it is with you this coming year to support you in your self-control, which is really rather wonderful, because when you're in a seven, if you're in high school breaking up, it's very hard to lose your cool and lose your temper and lose yourself. You allow the emotions to get the better of you. And now as you're older, when there is a challenge, self-control, you're completely supported to remain sensible, to remain centered, and to move towards the lesson that much more quickly. All right, cousin Janet, love seeing you here. We really do need to make a plan. So 6-2, and I say that every week, don't I? And it doesn't happen. I'll try to do better. 3 and 2 is, yeah, okay. Did you say that was true for me too? Yes, and it is. You're a 5 as well. So we've got a whole lot of people here going into big growth. It's rather wonderful. It's a very nice energy. It's going to be, of course, individual for everyone, and at the same time, expanding into your destiny can mean any of a number of things. So that's pretty fabulous. I will draw a card for you, Janet. Okay, I see. Hello, Kathleen. I know where you're at. Laurie, happy holidays to you too. Absolutely. Brandy says 45. 45. Oh, was I talking about not knowing how old you are? Okay. So yes, you're definitely old enough not to have a teenage meltdown. That's a good thing, a good thing, a good thing. All right. Yes. Oh, Merry Christmas to you too, Brandy. Okay, so this is a card for Janet. All right. A card for Janet going into a 5. That makes sense, because this year you've been laying foundations for the future. 4 is all about that practical, dealing with details, dealing with stuff. And I think, Janet, if I understand correctly, you've been doing that, making preparations for what comes next. Okay, so for your 5-year, we have, I'm trying to figure out what that picture is representing. Supported by your higher self. We've got lots of higher selves around, which is really nice. Helping you with your judgment, helping you as you grow, examine the evidence and make judgments based on what is rather than on what you wish it was. I think that's a magnifying glass that's discerning the actuality of the situation, so that you're not making decisions based on what you hope it will be, but rather what it actually is, and so having good judgment, and your higher self is going to help you with that. I don't remember whether you do any meditation or any of that kind of personal work, that being in a place you can listen to the voice. Okay, Kathleen, you're going into an 8. Talked about the 8, the lovely place where everything flows, where energy flows, and as you ask for things, they flow. And okay, Brandy, I just saw your personal information. You're not who I thought you might be. That's so interesting. You're Kathleen. Whoever else had an 8, I talked about the fact that where there are long-term plans that are going to take 18 months or so, during your 8-year is when you want to get that started, because the flow is with you as you start it. It will flow, it will move along, it will develop, and it will be ready to be concluded in your 9 year, which at that time of completions, right? So looking ahead and being open to allowing the flow to come through you. It's a time of balance and justice and fairness, and allowing those things to come into alignment in your life. This year has been a 7, so there may have been a challenge or two, and that's coming to its conclusion now, and you're going to get into a much more balance. It's like the scales of justice, right? It's been out of whack this year as you learn how to be high, and you learn how to be how to be light and how to be heavy, or however you want to look at those scales. And in the 8 year, they're coming into balance. They're finding that central alignment, and letting the cosmos flow good stuff into your direct field. Carol, Florida, I did see your note, and I will absolutely do that. I'm just gonna do this here where we got lots of time, scads of time. It is good. All right, so a card for Kathleen. Next week it's Christmas Eve, which is a strange day. I don't know if any of you are going to be available. Last year I was here on Christmas Day and a bunch of people showed up, which was cool. But Christmas Eve is different because everybody's busy getting ready. But what I'm going to do is read the synchronicity cards, the ones that I make out of old greetings cards and stuff. They're very, very individual, and I'm going to be doing that. And then on the next one is New Year's Eve, so I'm going to do the Inner Seagull, the color cards, so that we can look at colors for going forward. So just so that you know. All right, Janet, I'm glad that makes sense to you. Okay, so Kathleen is due for a lovely place, it's true. This is card for you. Yeah. I want to change the card. Oh, Kathleen, I'm so sorry. You're supported, though. Oh, you know what? This is only... Yes, it's all right. It's all good. It's all good. The card is competition, which I first thought was going to be a bit of a problem. But I recognize that there are areas where you are likely to step forward in... Debbie, I did miss you. There's places where you are going to step forward into a competition and be a candidate in a competing situation. So knowing that your warrior guides are with you, that when you do go out to compete, you are really, really supported in terms of getting the result that you want. That is nice. And I do believe that for this next year, it's about that rather than about being a warrior in the place that you're at right now. Yeah, that's to go with an 8, to be in competition, to be flowing your warrior self into the world. I think that's a really good card. Debbie, I'm really, really sorry. I don't know how I missed you, but I did. You're in a 7 for you next year. Okay, so if you can hear me, and if you can't hear me, I'll tell you that at 44 minutes I start talking to you. Um, your seven, I talked to, who did I talk to? Somebody had a seven. Was it the Brandy? Brandy is going into a seven. It's the teacher, right? It is the place where you are simultaneously learning and teaching. You're setting an example that other people are following and learning from, and sometimes just absorbing, because 5 years later they're faced with a problem, and they come to a solution that has been informed by what you did while you were setting that example. Do you know what I mean? It's a really You have the same birthday? That's so cool. Okay, so if you didn't hear what I told her, I guess that is on the tape. And for sure, I have no idea whether you and I have talked about it, but I'm yeah, so seven. It's the teacher, it's the finding the teachable moment. It's also that's very applicable to you and your work life. And I'm thinking your educational life, and the decisions that you've made and the studies that you're pursuing, and the shifts that is going to create within the new year, and ahead in the new year. So I will pull you a card, duh, and that will probably help illustrate a whole lot more stuff that I haven't said when Brandy was there, or when I was talking to Brandy. So that's, yeah. Yeah, you've got a lot of seven stuff going on, in fact, Debbie. I think. I think that makes sense. All right, so the guides that you have. Oh, that's rather lovely. So the Divine Father, which I guess the divine masculine, the Father Sky, Father Sun, all of those really enormous energies that get labeled with masculine identities, right? So enormous strength there, and bigness, bringing you new beginnings, opening the door to a lighted world that wasn't there before. So I can see where that fits. I can see where going into a seven and a place of learning and teaching, you're in the room with the light on. You are leading the way. You are seeing things anew. All of that stuff is is uh, is illustrated in that card, and that makes sense to me. So I hope that you were able to make sense of it. This is good. Now then, okay, 326, 326. Going into a 2 year, Carroll, Florida. Um, which is, this is where we started. Are you going into a 2 year? No, it was Cookie. No, Cookie was the one. Carroll. Oh, Carroll, Florida, you're 4. Okay, I don't know who was the 2. Somebody was. Um, 2 is the number of relationship, right? Face in the mirror, first of all. Primary relationship is because how that is going informs how everything else goes. Um, Certainly relationships with the household, with the extended family, with the colleagues, with the community, with the village, with cyberspace. All of those relationships are highlighted in a 2 year, and there's a very specific relationship that I know is necessary to make things right. So during the year, there's going to be lots of other people involved, which completely makes sense. Lots of meeting new people, lots of making new community, and that calls for a lot of back to the mirror. Who am I when I'm with this group of people? Who am I when I'm with that group of people? What is the relationship of that face in the mirror to who I present in the world? And getting right with that is a really important aspect of the work that we're here to do. I think this is why we come into the human experience. Okay, so to go with that too, I have, oh, all right. So I don't have very many cards with a lot of Christian iconography, but Guardian Angel Michael is the guardian angel of protection. This is an energy that we call forth to cleanse the space that we're in and to keep it safe and protect us from anything negative and unpleasant, right? It is so the self-esteem card, which, somebody talking about looking in the mirror and being right with that person could be could be aligned with that, right? That whole who am I, why am I, how do I present and how do I feel about how I present, and are those two different things? And am I doing the work to understand how our own self-esteem, our self-honoring, our that seat of our personality in the solar plexus chakra, right? It's very it's such important work that we're here to do, and the fact that it's being done within the protection of Archangel Michael is really, really, yes. Okay, so you recognize that, Carol. I love that it's very, very pink. That's usually the heart chakra is presented as green, but there are some people who always call it pink, and stones like rose quartz, that is the stone of unconditional love, and there's a loving, soft, caring energy about the pink. So the fact that this is heart chakra, this is protected, and this is about, if there's any thought that there's a sense of not being worthy and not having the esteem, then that needs to be worked on. Absolutely. Primary relationship. The purple outside is third eye. Connecting with spirit is really something that I would consider very important. There, that's just me. Okay, Brandy and I have the same birthday. Thank you. You're welcome. Debbie, I'm so sorry I missed you, but I got there in the end. Janet, I see you seeing the meaning that you need is very good. Okay, so nobody new has come in. It's 6 minutes too. Where does the time go? It's mind-boggling. So, I guess I should do community card. There isn't really a way to do a community birth date. But we're going into a 6 year. The universal year is a 6. Very much about relationships in this case, because it's made up of all twos. So how those varied relationships come together to the 6, which is the number of service. How do we in our communities serve our communities, serve each other, serve the future? How do we meet our responsibilities together? How do we bring there are aspects of 6 around things like beauty and loyalty and friendship, and all of those things really are very important. It's going to be an interesting year. All right, I trust I didn't miss anybody else apart from Debbie. If you're here and I haven't read for you, you better speak now, or you will be forgotten, and I do apologize for that. All right, and so for people watching the video, oh, I got 2 cards. For people watching the video, I don't know which one it is. I'm going to say like and follow the Facebook page if that's where you are. Please subscribe to YouTube if that's where you are. And head over to my website, sign up for my newsletter. The community card. Looking forward to a year of community energy. I guess I'm supposed to read them both. Okay, so we have, oh nice, the master teacher bringing discipline, helping us develop our own self-discipline, right? Helping us to stay within the lines that we have chosen. In this case, it's showing students studying from a book and from charts and from a model that looks like a sort of molecule put together. Our master teacher present to help us to learn. And the other one, oh my goodness, that's perfect. Okay, so the Holy Spirit here to support us with grace. That's why they're very different, and at the same time they absolutely complement each other. They are, why would you want to have one without the other? Makes complete sense to me as we engage our minds and our discipline. Cards are backwards for my fingers. To be in a state of grace, to be with Spirit, to allow Spirit and inspiration to flow through us as we are learning in whichever field we choose to go to. That's so neat. I like it. Couldn't do it deliberately, you know. I just don't have the thought process to do it. All right. So isn't that lovely, Carol? I have to agree. I'm so impressed. So next week, Christmas Eve, I will be here. I would love if you come, and I will understand if you don't. And yes, I'm so glad you were here, Eileen. It is good. We need to gather the group and get together sometime soon, for sure. Yeah, so next week, synchronicity cards, and I don't know what else I've got going on. I do have a newsletter going out soon, so if you don't get it, please head over to the website, joleith.com, and I'm pretty sure you get ambushed by a pop-up that asks you to sign up for it, and I sort of apologize for that, and also I don't, because I love getting new people on my newsletter list. So it is 1 minute to, I think that is it for today. Thank you everybody who came by. Thank you everybody who's watching the video. I wish you all of the very best of the season, and look after yourselves. We're headed, they're talking about a lot of lockdowns and limitations where I am, so if that's happening where you are too, please pay attention regardless. Make sure that you're looking after yourself and the people around you, and so that you can stay healthy. And I will look forward to seeing you again. Thank you very much for being here. Namaste.